John Voss, Elaine Edgar, or Nathan Thomas? Who is the pro-gun champion in the upcoming August 2nd Republican Party primary in Cape Girardeau? Hi guys, Aaron Dorr here with the Missouri Firearms Coalition. If you live in Cape Girardeau, you need to see this video before you cast your vote in the upcoming primary. We're talking about House District number 147. It pretty much covers exclusively the city of Cape Girardeau, and it's an open seat race because Wally Wallingford left his position in January to join the governor's staff, and the seat was not filled via a special election. So now we have this three-way Republican Party primary featuring John Voss, Nathan Thomas, and Elaine Edgar. And the question you're asking us as gun owners is, who's the pro-gun champion, number one? And number two, how do we know who to believe? How do we know who to trust? Everyone says they're pro-gun at election time. It's Missouri and a Republican Party primary. But Roy Blunt says he's pro-gun too. And Blunt just voted with Chuck Schumer and Dianne Feinstein for a massive gun control bill in Washington, D.C. So talk is cheap, especially from non-office holders who are seeking office for the first time. Who do we trust? We're going to answer those questions in this video. The way we do this, guys, is we combine our candidate survey program results with public statements, or as you're about to find out, lack of public statements made by the various candidates. And we talk to all of our members and other resources on the ground to give you a deep dive into these three candidates. Now, as you're about to find out, we have some pro-gun candidates and we have some anti-gun candidates in this race. First, we're going to get into the bad news. The bad news. John Voss. John Voss has been publicly attacking the Second Amendment Preservation Act at candidate events in Cape Girardeau. Multiple MOFC members have been at these forums. They have asked him where he stands on SAPA law, and John Voss is very clear. He is willing to vote to repeal some or all of Missouri's Second Amendment Preservation Act. You guys all know SAPA. It is the hottest issue in gun politics here in Missouri right now. Joe Biden hates it. Merrick Garland hates it. They're trying to overturn it in federal court, and a growing number of rhinos in Jeff City want to overturn it through legislation. John Voss at forums is publicly attacking SAPA, making it very clear he would likely vote to repeal SAPA law if given the chance to do so. That explains why John Voss will not complete his Missouri Firearms Candidate questionnaire. One of the leading questions on our survey is, how will you vote on SAPA? John Voss won't answer. Well, we know why. He obviously doesn't agree with SAPA and is already planning to vote for it, so he's not going to answer our candidate questionnaire. That also means that we have no idea how John Voss would vote on red flag gun seizures. I mentioned the federal gun control bill Roy Blunt helped to pass just last month. The foundation of that bill is almost $1 billion in federal bribe money to be given to states that pass red flags at the state level. Rhinos in Jeff City would already love to pass red flag laws, but when you wave tens of millions of dollars of free federal money in their face, they're going to push for this really hard next session. And John Voss will not condemn red flag laws. He'll also not condemn raising the limit on what age Missourians have to be to buy firearms, nor will he condemn universal background checks, aka a statewide gun registry. So John Voss, his lack of a survey combined with his public statements attacking SAPA is very, very bad news for gun owners. John Voss should run as a Democrat for the Democrat nomination, but certainly when it comes to guns, his views are not pro-gun at all here in Missouri. That's John Voss. Now, Nathan Thomas. Nathan Thomas is currently on the city council in Cape Girardeau. Just some bio information. But Nathan Thomas is also refusing to fill out his gun rights candidate survey. As I explained to you when it comes to Mr. Voss, when a candidate won't survey, it is almost always an indication that they intend to vote the wrong way on gun bills in Jeff City. Now, they might not vote anti-gun on the floor. How it works these days in Jeff City is they work behind the scenes in a committee with the chairman to keep a bill from coming out of committee in the first place, so it never gets to the floor at all. That's how the game is played right now in Jeff City. So with Nathan Thomas, will he vote to repeal SAPA? He won't give an answer. Will he vote for red flag gun seizures? He won't say. Banning AR-15s and 30-round magazines. Nathan Thomas won't tell us where he stands. So all these questions, these guys refuse to answer. And I want to be clear, hundreds of candidates from the U.S. Senate level to the State House level and everywhere in between have answered this candidate survey. When these two guys, John Voss and Thomas, refuse, that's a warning sign. But then also, one of our members sent us a video of a recent city council meeting in Cape Girardeau. I found it very interesting, worthy of your attention. The local Democrat who's seeking the Democrat nomination to run against whoever wins this primary is a well-known gun control activist. This madman goes to the city council, gets the lectern, and begins to berate America for how many guns we have. He calls for federal gun control in Washington, D.C., and then specifically he says, if elected, he's going to vote to repeal the Second Amendment Preservation Act. And he called on Nathan Thomas, if he wins the election, to do the same thing. Now, what was interesting was that Nathan Thomas didn't say anything. You know, this is a guy, the Democrat nominee, who is pushing radical gun control. And if you want to be a state rep, if you're an office holder seeking to become a state rep here in Missouri, and someone's attacking gun rights at a candidate forum, at an open event, and they call you out and ask where you stand, that's your chance to stand up for freedom. That's your chance to say, I'm not a rhino, I'm not a squish, I'll never vote for gun control. Nathan Thomas had that chance. He didn't say a word. Very troubling stuff from Mr. Thomas. And that leaves Elaine Edgar. Elaine Edgar. Elaine is the only candidate in this race who surveyed 100% pro-gun with the Missouri Firearms Coalition. That means, in writing, on the record, Elaine is in support of defending the Second Amendment Preservation Act. She'll never vote to repeal some or any part of SAPA law here in Missouri. She opposes red flag gun seizures, no matter if they're filed by Republicans, pushed by Democrats, federal bribe money, whatever it is. Elaine Edgar is a no vote on red flag gun seizures. Same thing for raising age limits. She's never going to vote to penalize Missourians age 18 through 20 and say you can't buy a firearm, you're not old enough. She's not going to vote for a gun registry. She's not going to vote for magazine bans. Every question we ask Elaine Edgar, she is 100% pro-gun. So folks, in this race, again, HD 147, there's a very clear line when it comes to your gun rights between Elaine Edgar and both John Voss and Nathan Thomas. Elaine is 100% pro-gun, proud, unashamed, no problem, loved giving us her survey, a proud fighter for gun rights. John Voss is attacking SAPA law and won't sign his survey. And Nathan Thomas also won't survey. And again, when given a chance to fight for us at the city council level, said nothing. Very troubling stuff. Guys, that's our report for you. Hope you found it very, very helpful. Do us a favor now. Share it with every gun owner you know. Get the word out on these three candidates. And guys, join our fight today at www.joinmofc.com.